it's Katie from Chords Records, the listening shelf. I do these occasionally where I pull out albums that I've been listening to lately that I've bought, and off the kind of flush of Record Store Day, I thought it'd be interesting to just go through a few albums that I've been listening to over the last month. And I'm going to start with one that has my favourite cover of the year, I have to say, and that is Gorillaz' The Mountain. What an incredible album. I don't know if you can see this. It probably doesn't come up on the camera, but it's lenticular. So it really is 3D in its look and feel. And this was a special edition of the Gorillaz Mountain LP. And what a brilliant album this is. It's a gatefold. I'll just show you the artwork because it's so stunning. Look at that. Very much has Indian or subcontinent flavours to it. Both the artists, of course, from Gorillaz, one the animator and the other one the kind of the writer and the singer from Blur, actually, but lost their fathers within I think maybe weeks of each other, and they were in India and did this incredible album with just world music flavour, but the classic Gorillaz sound. It's upbeat, and it's actually it's an album that's potentially laden with grief, but full of joy. And it's just one of my favourite albums of theirs, probably my favourite album of theirs. Absolutely love it. And so, as I said, it's a gatefold. The artwork, as always, is brilliant. And each of the sleeves has beautiful drawings, animations, because that's part of it. And if you watch, there's a wonderful documentary that they made going through an exhibition they've got at the moment, which talks a lot about their work. Just beautiful. The two artists, the animator Jamie Hewlett, and the actual musician Damon Albarn from Blur, created Gorillaz as a fictional group, and all the they haven't changed since I think maybe the late 90s. It's this fictional group of kind of ragtag musicians, all animated, and they've got personalities, and they've every album comes out with incredible animation movies of the actual music, and you can see some of them in this gatefold. So that's Gorillaz' The Mountain. Wonderful, wonderful album. Right, the next one. This one was recommended to me by John from Digital Gramophone, and it does not disappoint. This was a blind spot in my knowledge. I am into, my sweet spot kind of is Americana, I guess, or alt indie folk. And the Rat Boys have been around, I think, for 10 or 15 years, and this is their latest album, Singing to an Empty Chair, and what a revelation. It's kind of fuzzy guitar, alt, folky, indie rock. It's so great, very female. I think it's a husband and wife, or their partners, who lead the group, and the female vocalist is the main singer. And there's almost elements through it. When I was listening to it, there were almost elements of the Go-Go's. Weirdly enough, if you put the Go-Go's with some fuzz guitar and kind of dirty music, sort of almost grungy Patti Smith sound, but then calibrated it a little bit to be a bit indie rock folk of modern times. That's who the Rat Boys are. Really fantastic, and their lyrics are great. Very poppy tunes, very, very catchy, earwormy tunes, and I'm so pleased. Even though I've discovered them late, I'll be diving into the rest of their catalogue and their discography. This was a 3-sided album. It's put out by New West Records. I don't have a lot of New West. I have I think Spy Boy by Emmylou Harris, the fantastic live album that was released actually last year for Record Store Day. That's a great live album if you love Emmylou Harris. But there I find Westbound, New West Records, when you look through their sort of artist register, I guess, it's quite male dominated, and there are a few female, but the females I do love are Secret Sisters. I have every one of their albums. Incredible duo from Alabama, maybe, and they're just these beautiful harmonies, very, very laid back, almost whispery folk. Just stunning music. So I've got a lot of theirs, and they're on New West, but this, I'm so pleased to have discovered them. So it's a 3-sided album. So this one, I think it's on a kind of a smoky, greeny, marbly situation. But the fourth side is etched, and it's etched with empty chairs. I'll just show it to you. See if we can pick that up. You might not be able to see it. Oh, hang on. There we go. Oh, that's upside down. You get the idea on both sides. So that's Rat Boys. Fantastic new album from them. Just released a month or so ago. Singing to an Empty Chair. And next we have the latest album from Noble Records. From Dylan at Noble Records. We all probably know Noble Records. I think he's out of North Carolina, runs his own record shop, but he has a label, and for the most part he just does exclusives of small prints of other releases that other record shops or labels are doing, and he'll do a small run of it as an exclusive color variant or something. But what he also does is he does his own releases. This is the 5th one. He does it labels them Canon, which I think is his surname. This is number 5. They're the ones that he completely masterminds from beginning to end. So they're always out of the early 70s to mid 70s. They're always sort of long lost bands or local bands or master tapes that have been found, haven't been released forever. And he breathes new life back into them. He usually finds the original band members. He gets all the permissions. He gets all the mastering done and sees it through, often does the liner notes and the design. And so the latest one is Windflower Dreams from 1976. This is an interesting album. It has moments of absolute genius, and it's usually found in the guitar playing. The guitar playing was phenomenal. I wasn't really enamored with the singing. The songwriting was okay, but it was the guitar playing that really leads the way with this. And you can tell the time it was done. It's 1976, and you're sort of leaving that early 70s absolute, psych rock and then prog rock behind. It's that kind of gorgeous early 70s rock, of which he has got albums that do excel in that in his 5 albums. But this one that he's released is showing slight signs of wearing thin. The times, that is, not the album. The music, this was probably the last throw of the dice for this kind of music. Before we were already into punk, we were already moving into, we were definitely starting to get into disco by 1976. And yes, it's 50 years old, so it's 50 years ago, but you can hear that it's kind of almost getting into pop in a way. Really, I love collecting Dylan's albums. One, I like supporting his label and the record shop. I think he's a great guy and a great presenter and has really great taste in music, and his passion is great. I like what he does with these albums. So I've got all 5. I don't buy the other stuff, the exclusives. It's way too expensive to send to Australia. But I always pick up these ones. So this is Windflower on Noble Records. I think I got, what variant did I think? I think I just got the black one. Yeah, he always does 2 or 3. I also got the test pressing just for a bit of fun of this. I will say about this, he always goes to a lot of trouble with the liner notes. So this comes with a little booklet. There's the band. And, you know, it's a wonderful series of, you know, an interview and information about the band. Really great. A part of my Antipodean Sound series is Courtney Barnett, her latest album, Creature of Habit. Again, another gatefold, beautifully presented, as always her albums are. She used to run her own record label, Milk Records. This is, and they always come out in 1,000 different editions. This one comes with a poster. I love Courtney Barnett. You know, obviously being Australian, she's one of our greatest alt rock exports, and have followed her for years. We have all her material. I don't think this album is her best work, and I'm not sure why. She has a very particular style. If you know Courtney Barnett, it's almost this, it's not spoken word, but it's this very kind of laid back way of singing. Her guitar playing is second to none, and her lyrics are very funny, and they're very in many ways ironic. They're very domestic. They're very everyday, very small observations about life. And this one is no different, except it's sort of more of the same. I'm not quite sure how to put it. I don't think there's been a sort of an evolution, and why should there be? She shouldn't have to. She is who she is. Am I getting sick of it? Maybe. I'm not sure. But again, she's on Mum and Pop label. Because we have everything of hers, I still like it. And we will always get Courtney Barnett. But tell me what you think in the comments. Do you like this album? I'd be curious to know how people who are fans of Courtney Barnett are receiving it. This is Creature of Habit with a praying mantis on the front, and by Courtney Barnett. Let me know what you think. Right. I said I would be showing what is possibly going to be my #1 album of the year if nothing else comes along. I mean, we're already into April, late April, maybe coming into May. So we're not far away from halfway through the year. And I know I say this a bit, but Raye's This Music May Contain Hope is a masterpiece. It's stunning. Apart from the fact she has got the amazing jazz vocals of a veteran, this album is a complete conceptual wonder. So it's kind of like she's created her own musical, and it's a mixed genre album. There's London Symphony Orchestra, orchestral moments, there's musical moments, there's electronic, there's pop, there's jazz. It is so lush and so beautiful. And to extend the whole kind of musical theatre, West Endy vibe, she includes, the album itself is presented in this beautiful gatefold and includes this booklet, which is just like a sort of like a West End or a playbill type booklet. Wonderful presentation with lots and lots of even the cast is in here. And the very end of side 4, she actually speaks the credits. She'd go, "I'd like to thank," and she speaks the credits. It is just wonderful. I can't speak more highly of this. The songs, the lyrics, I mean, Whereas My Husband Is, I think, was the single, and that's a great song. The whole album, the 2 albums itself, they've divided into quarters. So there's autumn, winter, spring and summer, and it's very much a narrative. And it ends in this beautiful kind of summer kind of vibe at the end. And Raye, in my mind, is the future of great British pop. She is just wonderful. Oh, I just love it with that little die cut if you take the sleeve out. Just the whole presentation of this album is just incredible. I don't know what else to say except that I absolutely love it. It's up there with one of my favourite albums of the decade, really. And I will be playing it non-stop for the rest of the year. I know I will. So if you haven't got it, get it. You cannot miss out on this. And then finally, this is a very late pickup. If you watch my RSD videos, you know I was looking for this and I couldn't find it. Went into Red Eye Records in Sydney, asked the guy at the counter who owned it, do you have it? He went, no, we sold out. And then the other guy said, we've just got a restock. So I don't know how that happened, but they pulled it out. And it is the wonderful reissue of Mark Knopfler and Emmylou Harris's All the Road Running. This is from a 2006, I think, was the original release. They now the originals go for hundreds of dollars. I don't think they made many of them, but it's the end. It was the result of a many year collaboration between them. They did a lot of work together, which is a really unusual pairing when you think about it. Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits and his electric kind of very sound guitar. Emmylou Harris, this beautiful Americana or country singer with an angelic voice, and it just works. And the songs, a lot of them are written by Mark Knopfler, and his guitar is unmistakable throughout. So if you know his classic guitar, think Brother in Arms, the guitar all the way through that. It's all over this. And the beautiful singing of the two of them together, it just works. It's one of the hits, in my mind, of Record Store Day. So if you haven't picked it up, I highly recommend it. It was a gatefold, or is a gatefold, and has about 12 songs on it, co-produced by Mark Knopfler. Like, he was very involved in it. And it was, what label is it on? It's on Universal, and the sub print Mercury. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me what you're listening to at the moment. Love to hear. Hope you've all recovered from Record Store Day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.